Okay, so just to kick off, welcome to my session, latest and greatest of Dynamics 365 Human Resources at Urdu Hindi Bootcamp 2021. I'm Kamal. Just a quick introduction about me before I kick off the session. I work as a solution architect for the domain of human resources at a retail company in the Netherlands. I'm originally from India. I'm passionate about Microsoft technologies, especially in the world of Dynamics 365, human resources, and finance and operations applications. I also like to work on Power Platform and see how we can extend human resources using Power Platform. I'm recently interested or started developing an interest in the world of Business Central and Dynamics 365 Guides, which is a mixed reality application from Microsoft. So I'm happy to talk about any of this. If you want to have a chat or a virtual coffee catch up, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm also MVP from this year. Happy and excited about that, being part of the community. A short disclaimer before the session. So the views and opinions expressed in the session are my own and does not reflect any other organization. And they are subject to change from time to time. And I keep learning new things and changing the way I think. So what I've planned for the session today is to kind of focus on Dynamics 365 human resources as a product and understand a bit about the last year and how the product has evolved in the past, which is release 2020 wave 2. And also look at the current wave, which is release 2021 wave 1, of the changes that the product team has worked on and how it is going to help us in terms of customer engagement. And I kind of create a timeline overview that I publish on a monthly basis, which represents a simplified overview of the official documentation of the release and the roadmap items and how they're changing on a monthly basis. So, and I publish it on my blog. So I just want to quickly walk you through the timeline overview so that you can also use that overview in your discussions. The release 2021 wave 2 was published in July 2021. So we will look at the future at the last part of the session to see how the new capabilities that are being planned will impact the product and how it can help us in customer engagement. We will end the session with key takeaways and a Q&A. So to start with, when we look at the past, which is kind of focusing on release 2020 wave 2, so this overview kind of explains how the product team kind of approached the wave and what were the focus areas. So release 2020 overall was a major stepping stone for Dynamics 365 HR in terms of how the product started evolving. So there were changed vision, focus, from Microsoft with new ideas and new things coming into the product. So to start with, there was a major shift in how we pursue the product and the capabilities from employee and manager self-service perspective. And one of the improvements that we saw was the Microsoft Teams app for Dynamics 365 HR to support leave and absence requests and also sharing information about leave and absence to managers on Teams. It was a major shift in how we pursue, employee and manager self-service experience. So exposing the ERP data within Teams was a major technology shift and also adoption shift from an end user perspective. So that was one of the key focus areas, so to say. And then Microsoft had acquisition of two major functionalities, leave and absence and benefits management, and started working with the partners who were specialized in that. So the focus area was to add more capabilities in these two modules of human resources in order to support localization scenarios for country-specific legal requirements. And this has been quite a long journey so far, and personally, I've seen a lot of improvements that kind of help us in these two modules and processes from a HR perspective to support local requirements of each country in Europe, and not just Europe, but the same capability can be used to support other geographies across the globe. The other aspect that is quite interesting was to start exposing Dynamics 365 human resource to external applications like recruitment or payroll, and that was again a major stepping stone to go in the direction of connecting Dynamics 365 human resources with a proactive approach by exposing APIs to external recruitment applications to start with. So there's a bit of a background about recruitment, so to say. We will have a look at it in the next part of the slides. So these three were the major improvement areas, so to say, that came in from release 2020 wave 2, and it also cascaded to the future. So when we look at a few more enhancement details and use cases, let's say in the area of employee self-service and manager self-service, like I said, the major addition was Microsoft Teams app with Power Virtual Agent support. So the key functionalities that came through were employees being able to request leave on Teams, and managers being able to approve leave, and also employees and managers being able to look at leave balances and calendar overviews. The other small enhancements that came through in the area of ESS MSS were custom links on manager self-service. So if you want to kind of give access to any external website or the company website, for example, or a different SharePoint, etc. So there is a capability to embed that link for managers to be accessible on manager self-service capability within D365 HR. So this is one of the adoption aspects that kind of helps end users to use the application more. The other small enhancement that was part of the release was to restrict the employees from editing business contact details. So this will help the HR teams to have more streamlined data and also more accurate data for from a compliance perspective. So that was about ESS MSS. And the integrations and extensibility took a major leap in this wave. So to start with, the overall approach of how the data is exposed from Dynamics 365 HR was improved. There were more physical entities on CDS, and there was also support for virtual entities on Microsoft Dataverse, which was a major shift in on the technical platform side. So using virtual entities kind of added capability to use a lot of Dynamics 365 HR in comparison with the previous limitations we had with physical entities on Dataverse. And the other integration capabilities that were focused in this wave was to kind of integrate Dynamics 365 human resources with LinkedIn Talent Hub. Again, with the vision of Microsoft acquiring LinkedIn and Dynamics 365 HR focusing on the recruitment process. So it was ideal to get those products to work together. So that was a major step also. And along with this step, of course, each customer has their own recruitment application, which can be LinkedIn or anything else. The product team kind of worked on a API that exposes and also supports the integrations for recruitment process. So they added more capability on Dynamics 365 HR to support this ideology. For example, enhancing the candidate profile on personal management to capture more recruitment related data, or adding a capability for managers to be able to log an open position request on manager self-service. So these were some of the focus areas and use cases that the product team kind of included in the roadmap and have enhanced the solution for. So there was continued leave and absence capability enhancement done, like providing additional insights in leave calendar views, or managers being able to see cross-company data. So just to explain, when I am a manager and I have employees reporting to me from different legal entities across the globe, I can view all the employees in my team leave and absence information in one view, rather than changing the legal entities on Dynamics 365. So that was a small enhancement, but it was something that would help the end user adoption. In the same way, we had some enhancements like adding or viewing additional insight about leave balances, and also a common enhancement that's being done across finance and operations applications is to improve the UI of workflow experience. So that is also being cascaded to Dynamics 365 HR, and the workflow user experience is being made more obvious with easy to identify buttons for a manager to approve a request, or for an employee to recall or submit a leave request. So these were some of the specific functionalities that were included from a product stack perspective. And like I said, the workflow enhancements are being cascaded across F&O applications, and this was one of the other roadmap item that we saw being improved. When we look at a small demo about some of the functionality, let me just play that. Yeah. So what we are looking at is the approval workflow enhancements. So we will quickly go through approval workflow to see how the changes are coming through now. So when we look at a specific approval, so I'm trying to edit a position which has approval workflow attached to it. So when I edit a existing position on Dynamics 365 HR, so the first thing you notice is there's a submit button here, which is from a UI perspective, it's a change. So in the past, it used to be part of the ribbon bar on the top. And once the approval workflow request is submitted, and when a manager looks at approving the approval workflow, there's also the button where you can see recall now. So as a employee who submitted the request, but when a manager looks at the request, so this is as a manager. The first enhancement is the manager can easily access the approval workflow that has come through. And also when he clicks on it, there's an approve button that's making it more obvious of how to go about the approval process. So it's a small enhancement, but it makes the lives of the employees and managers who are working with approvals specifically a lot easier. So this was one of the changes that came through in release 2020 wave 2. Then we have the next demo, a short one, just to quickly go through, which is about the manager self-service and recruitment APIs. So just to play the demo. So what we are looking at now is how a manager can log an open position request. And this was one of the preview features that were released also. So to start with, we are looking at adding a custom link, which was part of the manager self-service enhancement. So I'm adding a custom link to be visible for all the managers in their self-service on D365 HR, which would route to my blog site. So if that is a requirement, we can add something like that. And when a manager logs into his self-service workspace and goes to my team tab, then the custom link that we just added will be visible as one of the links on the right hand side of the screen. And when the manager clicks it, it opens the link, like you can see my blog now. And the other enhancement from a manager self-service perspective was to have a possibility for managers to log a open position request. So we are looking at how that capability can be enabled, or what is the name of the feature that was released by Microsoft. So in the environment that we are looking at, the feature is already enabled. So when the manager kind of goes into self-service, he will be able to log open position requests. So we're looking at manager self-service now, and on my team tab, there's a request to recruit. So where a manager can log a request for a position to be recruited, using a job. So the key point about this topic is the request to recruit is a capability that would help in integrating Dynamics 365 human resources with external recruitment application. And from a process perspective, manager is the owner of that request. And that is the reason you see that managers are able to log that request and also activate a request for recruitment, so that the recruitment team can pick this request and process it on the recruitment application. And when the recruitment is complete, then the manager can close the recruitment request, or the recruiter itself can close the recruitment request. So this was a short demo of some of the capability that came through to the end users and partners as part of Release 2020 Wave 2. Now, in the next step, what we are looking at is the current situation, and that kind of focuses on Release 2021 Wave 1. So when we look at the focus areas, on one side, for Release 2021 Wave 1, the focus areas did not change really, because it's a longer roadmap to make sure the product is heading in the right direction. So on the first focus area is to expand the HCM integration landscape with strategic partnerships. So what I mean by that is basically to improve more external applications being able to connect with Dynamics 365 more smoothly, like recruitment or payroll. And then we have a focus on HR technology, being able to create employee and manager self-service experience. So that is a key, focus area from Microsoft, especially with the latest changes that are happening in the world of digital transformation and new ways of working. So it kind of continues to integrate human resources as a domain, and also Dynamics 365 HR as a product, to integrate more with Power Platform or Microsoft 365 solutions, especially Microsoft Teams, and also to kind of connect with the rest of the Microsoft stack overall. So it kind of makes it more seamless from an end user perspective. But the new addition in terms of the focus area was about app unification, which is about making Dynamics 365 HR and human resources as a solution stack be part of finance and operations stack in a more seamless way, which it used to be in the past. So that is a new addition to the focus area from the product team to make sure that there is one way of looking at human resources as part of finance and operations stack. And with this, the focus areas are to have a simplified platform and application lifecycle management, like how do we manage different environments of human resources and how it coincides with the finance and operations environment on the customer side. and also to kind of support how the integrations work between the native applications from Microsoft and support extensibility using Power Platform. So this was an overview of Release 2021 Wave 1, and when we look at the specific capabilities that were part of the roadmap, so there was continued investment in the world of benefits management, with improving capabilities on benefits notifications, adding more flexibility to how we can define benefit plans by including support of custom fields within the benefit plan design, and also for benefits eligibility processing. And one of the important roadmap items that I liked was having a benefit summary statement, which is also one of the things that many customers always look for, which would give a consolidated view of employee benefits, to have a look at, and also access, and also being accessed from an administrative perspective. So these were some of the specific areas that were improved or added as part of the roadmap. So since we are already in July, so many of these features are already in preview. So you can already try those features. Then from an integration and extensibility perspective, we had a lot of improvements to support payroll integrations in this wave. So when we look at the previous wave, the focus was more on recruitment, and now the focus kind of shifted towards payroll integrations. So there were some specific functionalities to kind of support that. So employee pay profile, or having fixed compensation as part of the payroll integration capability, and also including benefits and leave as part of the integration capability, was some of the data elements that were focused on to be part of this integration scenario. So when I look at how this is progressing, I think it's very valuable from an end user perspective and end customer standpoint, because payroll and recruitment are some of the business processes in HR which kind of shifts based on geography and also based on industry. Like for example, as a retail company, the recruitment process is very different compared to a manufacturing company, and you would need different solutions to support those focus areas in the process. And from a payroll perspective, every multinational organization kind of use more than one payroll vendor, and Dynamics 365 HR being able to communicate with external payroll solutions kind of takes a huge leap, from a customer support perspective, in terms of how flexibly a customer can adopt Dynamics 365 into their landscape. Then we had continued investments in the world of leave and absence. One of the most important things that every customer looks for is when you have a complex shared service organization with a lot of employees being part of your company, then the leave and sickness will be a dedicated function from a human resource standpoint, which will be managed by a dedicated team within the shared service. And in order to support that, we need a functionality on Dynamics 365 that would kind of segregate the duties of this particular persona in the organization, and they should have a set of capabilities to execute things. So when we look at that part, so to say, from a product perspective, the product team have added a roadmap item to kind of introduce a new persona called Absence Manager, which would kind of support scenarios like, as employee, when you log a vacation request, it goes to your manager for approval. But when you want to log maternity leave request or parental leave request, then it would follow a new or a dedicated approval route, which goes to an absence manager to be to be approved. So that is a customer scenario that kind of will be supported by this capability. and also to have different views from administration perspective. When I am an absence manager taking care of 2 countries, then I can have a view of those 2 country employees in one calendar. And also at the same time viewing team member balances. And so there are some small enhancements to support this new persona and how they can do their day-to-day work. So this is the next area. And what I want to quickly touch base on next is I write a monthly blog, which is what's new in Dynamics 365 Human Resources. And as part of that blog, I review the latest roadmap from Microsoft and create an overview so that it's helpful for somebody who's involved in a project or somebody who's part of the end customer support team to kind of look at how these changes are coming and when they're coming through. So I create an overview which captures all the functionalities with the hyperlink for the for Microsoft official documentation. So you can easily download this from my blog site and kind of click on the link. And let's say you want to have a look at all the changes that are coming through in July, you can easily access it. So I create 2 overviews on a monthly basis, or keep it up to date based on the changes reflected on the product documentation. So the public preview and the changes that will be published into general availability. So this is something I just wanted to highlight. So if this is helpful for you, and if you think you have any feedback on this, just feel free to share it with me. Then I can also incorporate and add it as part of the monthly updates I work on. So that's about keeping up to date in terms of how the new changes are coming through, and roadmap, as the word says, it's something that keeps changing, and the priorities change from a product development perspective. So it's understandable, and we kind of have to align our work with customers and also as partners on how the product is evolving and what features are coming when. So this overview is kind of a helpful thing in that direction. So that's about the current wave. And like I said, we are in July, and release 2021 wave 2 is already published by Microsoft. So now the last part of my session is to focus on the future, and what are the changes, and how is the focus changing from Microsoft for the future. So when we look at the focus areas to start with, it has not changed compared to release 2021 wave 1, so it remains the same. So the first point is broadening the HCM landscape with integrations and external application partnerships. Focus on employee experience stays the same, but the realization of app unification is finally coming through. So there's more focus area out of the 3. So there's more work being done in app unification front. So the merge of Dynamics 365 Human Resources being a separate product into the stack of finance and operations will finally come through, and you can see major changes in the way the product will be used in the coming period. And it's a slow transition. It's not going to happen in a small period of time, because we have a lot of customers who kind of work on Dynamics 365 HR independently now. So there will be a migration path to move into the F&O realm of things, so to say. But on a long-term perspective, the goal is to make it a unified experience overall from a life cycle perspective, which is great, and which would definitely help us and also make it more seamlessly integrated with finance and operations applications. So I think that the horizon is clear now, and we see more work on that in release 2021 wave 2 and the future. So when we look at specific roadmap items, so to say, and how the investment is going to come from on the product development side, and the functionalities that are being developed, we see more investments in the world in benefits management module. So at the moment, the product has reached a stage where there's a huge amount of functionality that is improved now, and now it's all about the agile improvements that are going to happen with more ideas coming through from partners and customers who are using the solution now and who face challenges. And the product team is reviewing the ideas on the ideas portal, and they're going to implement small changes like simplified UI for confirming benefits enrollments, or managing flex credit allocations. So this is one of the roadmap items that's part of the coming period. And when we look at employee and manager self-service, so there will be more improvements or additions of capability on the human resources or D365 human resources app for Microsoft Teams, which is great because it's one of the most sought out functionalities, because it kind of helps in user adoption a lot, and makes it very easy for end users to kind of use Dynamics 365 human resources. So there will be capabilities to edit or cancel approved leave requests, or managers to view leave balances during the approval process. So it's a combination of PDA and the native capabilities of Microsoft Teams. So it's exciting to see more investment in this area, and maybe in the coming period this will also go beyond leave and absence. So that's something to look out for, and how this is going to evolve. But I'm very excited about Microsoft Teams integration with Dynamics 365 human resources. The next topic is quite nice, which is the app unification part. So these are the general changes or roadmap items that are planned. So the two specific items we are looking at is consistent environment management and integrations on F&O and HR. So which basically means making it more seamless in how a customer manages finance and operations environment alongside human resources environment. So ideally, they're both part of the finance and operations stack from a technical standpoint. So the product will kind of more align together, so that from an IT administration standpoint, they're both managed in a consistent way. And the next point, what we see is the platform merge and single HR approach. So what I mean by that, or what I understand from a product perspective based on the documentation, is that we have two experiences at the moment, one being HR capabilities or core HR capabilities on F&O side, and then we have Dynamics 365 HR as a product which kind of stands alone and supports customers for HR processes. So the future is more to get those things together to have a single view of HR on finance and operations front. So which is great from a horizon perspective, but this move is something slow, and from a customer standpoint and also partner standpoint and Microsoft as a whole, I think we have to work together to kind of support the customers move in this direction, and also as the product and the new features kind of come through from the development team on this. So it's a key area to keep your eyes on and follow, with the latest changes that are coming through the preview features and the migration paths, and work with the internal IT teams and also with the partners and Microsoft to kind of understand and go along. Then we have continued investments in integrations and extensibilities. So two things. Basically, the first one is as Dynamics 365 HR gets closer to finance and operations, we will have more extensibility options, like for example, using cross-app capabilities like saved views, grids, and personalizations. And also the focus from Microsoft is to use Power Platform toolset to support extension requirements for any country localizations or any customer-specific scenarios. So the last specific functional capability that is being worked on by the product team is to support sick leave management. So this is something that was it was missing for a long time, and there are partner solutions that support this, but when we look at the roadmap, this being part of the standard solution is really one of the things that all customers will be overjoyed about, so to say. So some functional capabilities include managing open-ended sick leave requests or adding return to work notices, and also to support specific sick leave reporting. It can be something like compliance reporting in the UK, using Bradford factor or any other sick leave reporting. So we have to kind of look at how this specific capability is going to come through and what will be supported. Then we have management and approval of sick leave requests, which is similar to leave of absence, but we have to see how different it will be for sick leave, because from a process standpoint, it's a totally different process on human resources. So that being said, when we look at the key takeaways, so to say, from release 2021, wave 1 and wave 2, I've kind of represented in two areas. On the functional side, we see leave and absence and benefits management as two modules that are becoming very strong, which can help in supporting localizations for different countries and different customer scenarios. And there's increased focus on employee experience to make it easy for employees and managers to use Dynamics 365 human resources, and also for IT admins to kind of look at Dynamics 365 as human resources as an overall F&O solution and more seamless part of the Microsoft stack. And on the technical side, we see enhancements in the integration landscape, which will help us drastically to connect Dynamics 365 HR to local applications. And the app unification area, which is going to kind of shift how Dynamics 365 is in the landscape, more closer to finance and operations, and also to Power Platform. So this is a summary of the specific capabilities. So there's a lot of work that is being done, a lot of great work. So from the product team, and the focus is very clear. So which is very good, and how we reach that focus is also getting more and more clear with the new releases coming through. So I'm very excited about it, and yeah, if you are part of any of this work streams, and if you want to have a chat about it and discuss things, I'm very happy to connect with any of you. So you can subscribe to my blog or connect with me on LinkedIn. YouTube is going a bit slow for me at the moment, but I will start picking it up in the coming period. So you can have a look at YouTube. I have some videos which is focused on D365 HR 101, so which is basically the starting point for some of the modules, like if you want to implement leave, if you want to implement organization administration, etc. So I have made like 30 to 40-minute videos which explains in a blitz speed how to do things. I'm active on Twitter from time to time, so you can also reach out to me on Twitter or my email, which works the best. So thanks a lot for your time.